Hunt for Greatness podcast.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the Hunt for Greatness podcast. I'm your host, Lex Hunt, and I got my man Will Bridges. What's up, Will?
What's going on,
Captain Will Bridges on the podcast. I've been working on this dude for a minute, trying to get you on here, man.
It has been a while, dude.
I'm so glad that you came on the podcast.
Yeah, dude, absolutely glad to be here.
Man, you do some extreme stuff, and that was, one reason, of course, I want you on is because I like you.
Yeah, well,
but you do some
appreciate
extreme stuff, and I think that it's cool because we'll talk about your business, but people can kind of know what to expect when they come on the boat with you.
Yeah.
I think this will be good for us to talk about. So, TI Fish and Dive Adventures on YouTube, or on Instagram.
Getting to YouTube, but yep, TI Fishing Divers on YouTube, Facebook. You can look me up, Topsail Island Fishing Dive Adventures, as well as my website, tifishingdive.com.
Sweet. So, to book a trip, where these people want to go to your website?
Yeah, go to my website, tifishingdive.com. As soon as you come up, you'll see a big Book Now button. Click that, and it'll have all my trips listed right below you. Multiple trips from 4-hour, 5-hour, 8-hour Gulf Stream, half-day spearfishing, full-day spearfishing. I'll do a Lee Island excursion where you can go look for shark's teeth, shells.
You do it all.
Do it all, man.
You do it all, dude. I like that. So the main thing that had me interested is the spearfishing.
Yeah.
The spearfishing aspect of it is, because to me, kind of crazy, kind of scary, kind of crazy. So most of the people who book you for spearfishing, have they ever been spearfishing before?
Most of the people who book me, yes, they have.
Okay.
I try to take more the experienced diver out instead of the first time, just because North Carolina can be a little bit of a culture shock to spearfishing.
Why is that? Keep that mic a little closer.
Sorry about
You're
that.
good. You're
No.
good. You can move the whole thing to you.
So when you think
There
about
you go.
North Carolina and diving, that rod fell right behind you, just letting you know.
Oh, yeah, she was going to go. If I kept moving. Oh, the other one went.
Hey, it's not a podcast without a technical difficulty.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. We'll probably have some more.
No
So,
doubt.
Shell Shock, North Carolina.
Yeah, so if you think about diving in North Carolina, your thoughts probably not crystal clear water, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of why I don't take beginners, because if I take the brand new beginner out and they get in some dirty water, not a great experience. And if the ride out to clean water, which is the Frying Pan Tower, is about 44 miles one way. Kind of a long ride for a new diver. But there is, I guess you could say, instances where I could take a new free diver if you have experience in the water. Like if you've been scuba diving before, or you're a good swimmer, or things like that. Some kind of experience in the water is recommended for sure.
For sure. Because it's dangerous. Can be dangerous.
It can be dangerous. On all my charters, I'm in the water with you, or my experienced mate is in the water with you. So somebody's in the water with you, always watching your back, explaining how to properly breathe up, what you're looking for. My 2 trips, the half-day spearfishing is within 20 miles. It's actually deeper than my full day.
Like deeper water.
Deeper water, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The half day, you're just looking at wrecks off of Topsail. From 20 miles out, you got wrecks at 70 foot. On a clear day, you can see the top, but it's not like the Caribbean,
Right.
And obviously, everybody's biggest fear is
Sharks.
sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah, sharks. So you have more sharks inshore than offshore.
Really?
Yeah, especially in
Damn,
the summer.
that's-
Especially in the summer.
They're all coming inside.
On the wrecks, yep. All the wrecks, and the bait attracts to the ships and the ledges inshore.
I see them on the beach, surf fishing.
Well, that water gets, 80 plus in the summer?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah. Hot.
Yeah. So the sharks love that. But the Frying Pan Tower, if you are not familiar with it, people on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people who are not.
Look, just Google Frying Pan Tower. It's an absolutely stellar place to fish, but the diving is incredible. It's literally like the Caribbean.
Why is the water so much clearer there?
You're 15 miles from the Gulf Stream, tops.
Okay.
Like the steeples is I think 18 miles offshore of the tower, tops. So in the summertime especially, you have that Gulf Stream just coming all the way in,
So that Gulf Stream water is going to be your clear water.
that dark purple, yeah.
Okay.
Dark blue purple.
So the clarity can vary at the tower,
Yeah,
but mostly it's clear.
I would say mostly like 90% of the time is crystal clear at the tower, like top to bottom.
Now, you guys, you can go on, you can Google Frying Pan Tower, and you can see cameras. They have underwater cameras there. So if you guys want to check out what it looks like, I personally have looked at those cameras and seen a lot of sharks.
So the sharks that you're seeing on the camera are actually sand tigers.
Sand tigers.
Sand tiger sharks. They're very docile sharks that just hover on the bottom.
They seem like they're hovering.
Yeah,
They're just chilling.
They just sit there. They're just hanging out. Now the sharks that you'll see swimming more aggressively or quickly are your sandbars, Caribbean reef sharks. You'll see a hammerhead every now and then we have bull sharks show up every once in a while. And then obviously in the winter, if anybody follows Osurge,
GW.
The great white.
Oh, God.
The great white.
God, dude.
I've only seen two diving.
Tell me about the one you told me about the other day that brushed up against you.
So that was that was actually the offshore topsail. So we were diving, my buddy Lapaka, and I had Coleman Allen with me. You can look both of them up on Instagram, especially Coleman Allen. He does pictures. But he was with me, and I had just shot a grouper, came up to the surface. I was braining and bleeding my fish, and I looked up, and I just saw a massive tail in front of me. And I looked, and I just saw this massive great white. And it was horrible viz, like 10-foot visibility. You couldn't see 10 feet in front of your face.
Oh, no.
So it was not.
So he was close.
He was close.
How big was he, you think?
He was probably anywhere from 12 to 14 feet.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's like, I'm got to get out. If I see, what'd you do, dude?
We kept diving.
What did he do?
We didn't see him again.
Oh, that would scare me so
Yeah,
bad. You only
well-
had 10, 15-foot visibility.
I mean, they're not sharks. Sharks. It sounds silly saying this, but like sharks aren't after you,
Right.
right? They're after the fish. They're actually, again, when I lived in Key West, Florida, they were more trained to the sound of your spear gun. So
Like if they hear you shooting
yeah,
spear gun.
Anybody who's dove, when you shoot a spear gun underwater, it's a distinctive noise. It's like a popping noise. And to shark, that's like a dinner bell, especially in the Keys. I don't have that response here in North Carolina so much.
That's so crazy that they've like genetically altered themselves to.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're I mean, all of us are creatures of habit, right? So I mean, if you're a shark who, which I guess all sharks migrate, but if you're in South Florida, that warm water, I mean, you're gonna stay put around that wreck. And,
Why would you move?
right? You hear that
Easy meal.
You hear that clicking, and that fish is just on that spear.
God,
It's just easy,
dude.
easy target.
So sharks kind of aren't your biggest worry out there.
Sharks aren't. Nah, I'm not really. Afraid.
What's your biggest worry out there when you first started spearfishing?
I mean,
You don't seem like a worrier, but
I mean, just the unknown, right? So I moved to Key West in 2012. I didn't even know what the word spearfishing was. Like,
so you moved there to fish.
I moved there because I went to Campbell.
Take a picture.
Yeah, I went to Campbell University for like a semester or a year and a half.
Okay.
And I was like in communication and like mass marketing, and I just absolutely hated it. And I was like, this is awful. I tried Sandhills Community College out, got a couple like what do you call it, prerequisites?
Yeah,
like English. Got that out of the way, and I was like, I gotta figure out what I want to do. I found this community college in Key West Community College. They had a program for diving, scuba diving.
Sick.
I was like, sign me up. I'm all about it. Went there, got my associates in diving technology, and when I first moved there, I guess what I'm getting at is I walked into a dive shop, and I was just, because I knew what scuba diving was, right? Because my dad scuba dove. I had no idea. I'd never heard the word spearfishing. Walked into the first scuba dive shop, and they're like, "You want a spear gun?" I'm like, "Sounds awesome."
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, sign me up. I actually ended up buying. It's called a Hawaiian sling. It's a 3-prong.
I've seen them before.
Like real primitive Hawaiian sling, and I started shooting mangrove snapper that way. But the biggest worry was the unknown, like getting in the water, not knowing what you're going to see, just getting your face comfortable in the water. Because when you get in that water, you realize how small you actually are. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of get a grasp of how small you are compared to the water.
So when you first jumped in, it was like, okay, this is different.
Yeah,
and this is in Key West,
and that's kind of where a buddy comes in too, right? You know, especially in all my charters, we preach and practice buddy diving. You know, you can't have a safe and successful dive without having a buddy. And what I mean by that is called, anybody in the freediving community knows the saying, one up, one down. You know, if you and I were to go freediving at the tower, you know, we have our little hand signal, you know, saying I'm about to drop. I'll do a drop and you stay on the surface and you're just watching me. And, you know,
like looking down with my snorkel, like watching, making sure you're okay.
Yeah, your mask is in the water. You know, you're just watching me. Basically, you're watching me on the rise, because I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. But scuba diving, everybody I'm sure has heard of scuba diving deaths, right? Like, but that's a whole different animal, because you're breathing compressed air, breathing mixed air, like nitrogen mixed with oxygen, all different types of things. A lot of things can go wrong there. Free diving is natural, right? All you're doing is taking a breath and swimming down. So the only thing technically that can go wrong is called a shallow water blackout, and that happens 10 feet from the surface. You know, where you're on the bottom and you exert all your oxygen. You kind of ignore your body's alarms, because your body is going to give you alarms. You know, like if you hold your breath, like if we were to sit right now and hold our breath, you know, after a minute you're going to get contractions where you feel the need or urge to breathe, and people will fight through that, especially when you're on the bottom and you see a big fish. You fight through that on your way up 10 feet from the surface. You go unconscious. If you're overweighted, which is getting a little technical, but if you're overweighted, you're going to sink. And if you're properly weighted, you're going to float. But either way, you're unconscious. And if you don't have a buddy, you're not going to survive.
So the buddy can save your life.
You
don't want to dive by yourself.
Don't dive by yourself. Don't dive by yourself.
Sounds super sketchy to dive by yourself anyway.
Not recommended.
I don't even duck hunt by myself.
Yeah, I mean, anything's good with a buddy, but just especially that. I mean, safety's the number one concern, or safety's the number one aspect, you know, while diving, and fun second. You know, you have one up, one down, not much can go wrong.
Yeah, so Will does free diving, guys. You do free diving charters.
Yeah, I do free diving charters. Now I'm a dive master. I will cater to the experienced scuba diver, but obviously I need to see the at least advanced level scuba certification or better for that. Just because off North Carolina we're diving 60 foot plus, and the beginner level scuba diver normally has not reached that comfort level.
So the beginner level scuba diver is like not diving more than like 30 feet or something.
Yeah.
So you need to be experienced to be diving 60.
Well, North Carolina, like, so.
Stay close to that mic. You're good. You can move the mic wherever you want. There you go.
I took my wife to Hawaii. And I got her certified here in North Carolina through Wrightsville Beach Diving, Chris Logg. Got her certified through there. We did the Liberty ship for our open water dive. Everything was cool. Got to Hawaii. She was a beginner level, but we were diving a pretty advanced dive. Open water, big blue water, just a wall. She got in the water, and like I said, when you get in the water, you seem real small to what's around you. You know, all she saw was blue water and a rock. She got a little freaked out, and she couldn't do that dive, which is fine. But that's kind of what I mean. But most people who are beginner scuba divers have only dove on vacation. You know, we go to Mexico or wherever they have like the beginner
reefs
dives
and stuff like that.
Real shallow reefs. North Carolina, you're just gonna get a little deeper. I mean, to get what you want, you know, to get the ships. Like we have a lot of. They call us the graveyard of the Atlantic for a reason. We have over 20 wrecks right here in the Onslow Bay. So
what they call Onslow Bay the graveyard of the Atlantic?
They call just the southeast North Carolina, really the east coast of North Carolina, the graveyard of the Atlantic, all the way from Hatteras to, pretty much the Cape Lookout or Cape Fear Shoals, because you have the Cape Fear Shoals, Cape Lookout Shoals, and the Diamond Shoals.
So the shoals are where the shipwrecks are.
Yeah,
they call it that because of the shipwrecks, right?
That's right. Yeah, I mean you have the shoals, you're 44 miles out, and you can run up on 25 foot of water.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
There's probably some big sharks out there in that.
Dude, like I said, sharks. I've shot
Not a concern.
the biggest fish killed on Topsail Island Fish and Dive. Shout out Dale Soul. Killed a 65-pound Cubera Snapper in 35 foot of water.
Wow, a Cubera Snapper too.
Last October.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, last October.
Those are not even that common around here,
No,
are they?
I've killed. So that was the second one killed on my boat. I killed the first one on my boat back, probably 16 or 17. Killed a 50-pounder underneath the tower. One drop, one dive. He was just sitting underneath the tower. But it's kind of cheating. Like Alex mentioned before, the camera on Frying Pan Tower, the live camera, it's kind of like my trail camera, right?
So you saw the...
Yeah, I saw the Cubera.
Did you really?
Yeah, I saw the Cubera.
You were like, I'm going tomorrow. And I'm going to pop a cap in his butt.
He was there for at least a week. So we went offshore like dolphin fishing, wahoo fishing, came back, and I was just like, how much you can do a quick drop? One drop, and he was...
Wow.
But Cuberas are super rare here.
Why is that? Because they're more of a warm water fish?
They're just more South Florida. I mean, they're like, we do have them. Like,
Those are big ones, though, dude.
They get big, man. They get real big. Like,
they get bigger than that, like a lot bigger than that.
There's 100-pounders for sure. Costa Rica is famous for big.
I heard they're good to eat.
Under 50 pounds. Like I wouldn't want to eat like 100-pounder.
Right.
It's just kind of like anything else. Like, once you get 100 pounds, you don't really have a diet. You eat anything and everything, and that includes mercury.
How do the fish get mercury in them?
It's just the different type of bait fish. Like,
okay.
a lot of the reef fish, like the tropical fish, like parrotfish, the angelfish, things like that. They have a lot. That's why they say barracuda have a lot of mercury, because they eat anything and everything. And most people don't think, but we have a ton of tropical fish, especially out toward the tower.
Yeah, I've seen the angelfish on the camera out there.
Angelfish, I call them sergeant majors. They're like the yellow. Yeah, they're like a bumblebee. I call them a bumblebee, like yellow, black, and white.
I don't think I've ever seen those.
Yeah, real small. We literally, there's nothing Florida has that we don't have.
Damn, that's crazy.
I would feel confident saying that. I think
that's crazy to think about that. Like, you guys shot a big cobia this year, dude.
That was not too long ago either.
That was how big was that cobia? It's 84 pounds, right?
84.5 pounds,
bro. I saw the picture. I saw that's how you know it's serious, because I knew how much your cobia weighed because I saw that picture, and I was like, dude, like, that cobia doesn't look like any cobia I've ever seen. Like, when a fish gets to a certain size, it starts to look different.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That cobia looked like
we were
nuclear, bro.
It's a kind of funny story about that. It was a group that's been with me before, and it wasn't the best day so far. We were kind of picking off bottom fish left and right, like small, bigger sea bass, but small fish for the tower. We haven't really had a trophy fish yet, so we went and hit my inshore spots, and surprisingly, the inshore spots always produce better for some reason. I don't know why, but the inshore spots always produce better. We dove. Went inshore spot, did a drift, saw this stingray the size of this table. Not this way, this way.
Wow.
Like the wingspan.
Like a manta ray or something?
No, it's a stingray.
A stingray.
It was a stingray.
Dude.
Yeah.
Imagine the stinger on that thing.
Dude.
It's probably the size of this thing right here.
The cobia on it. Like,
he was swimming with it.
Oh, there's probably like 20 cobia on it.
They weren't all that big, though.
No, but the one, so we shot one first. He was like 40 pounds.
Still a big cobia.
We were like, boom, we got a stud on the boat.
Yeah.
So we got that fish on the boat. I got everybody on the boat. And I was like, hey, everybody hop on the boat. I asked the guy, I was like, hey, which way was the stingray traveling? He was like, he just pointed in a direction. And I was like, oh, perfect. I got a ledge right up here.
Are you serious right now?
I was about to cuss, but I'm not going to cuss for podcast. But
you can say whatever you want, Bill.
But I felt like a king in this. I was like, yeah, I'm the man. So I was like, let's go jump on this ledge. Drop these boys on the ledge. As soon as they hit the water, they're like, he's right here.
What, the stingray?
Yeah, with all the cobia. And my boy comes down, does a drop, comes back up, and he goes, I shot 100-pounder. I shot 100-pounder. And I was in the water. It was my turn to be in the water. My mate was driving the boat. And I was like, nah. I was like, my clients tend to exaggerate.
Yeah,
you know? I was like,
as we all do as fishermen.
Right?
Yeah.
That's our best job. I swam up to it, and when I first saw the fish, I thought he shot a shark. Because if anybody's spearfish, they'll say a cobia looks like a shark underwater.
I mean, I can definitely see that.
Brown back, huge dorsal fin, big pectoral fins. If you spearfish, it looks like a shark underwater. And I was like, bro, you shot a shark. And it literally took me a minute to figure out it was a cobia. And then, dude, it was... We put 3 shafts in it to get him in the boat. We shot him 3 times to get him in the boat.
Like what? Like to kill it?
To kill it, yeah.
Okay, because he shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so when the guy shot it, he shot one through the head.
He shot right behind the gill plate, like a good holding spot right in the meat. And I went down and I shot him right through the head.
And he was still alive.
He's still good. And then I told one of my clients, I was like, you gotta go put a 3rd shot in it.
So where's the fish at this point in the water
he's probably
column?
like 20 foot.
Like 20 foot off the bottom or 20 feet down?
20 foot down from us, from the surface.
Okay.
Yeah,
So he's got 2 shafts in him.
Yeah.
And he's 20 feet
and
from y'all.
he was still kicking just as hard as he could.
Bro.
As hard as he could. And I honestly thought we had a record. Like, I thought.
What is the record?
Excuse me. I didn't think it was a record because I think the record's like 163.
In North Carolina?
No, unfortunately, they don't do
Spearfishing.
records.
I got you.
A lot of people are against, they call it the point and click method. A lot of people are against spearfishing in North Carolina.
Right.
But either way, Florida's the only state who does state records
For spearfishing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But I thought he was over 100 pounds.
He looked like it.
And he was 84 and a half. He was a big fish.
15 and a half, what, 15 and a half pounds off?
Yeah, big fish.
15 and a half pounds from 100
Big
pounds.
fish.
Wonder what the state record called is.
I think it's over 100.
No. Wow, that's crazy.
I know the world record is like, I think 160 from Brazil. Like, I wouldn't want a cobia that, like, this spines on the back of this cobia, dude.
One that y'all got was huge, the spine.
it
So
was
y'all put 3 shafts in
3
him.
shafts in him. Yeah.
And that finally got him. Finally killed him.
He wasn't, I still, my mate still had to put a gaff in him to pull him in the boat. Like, he was not dead.
Oh my God.
The fish was not dead. He was an animal. Like, he was a legit animal.
So when you shoot him with the spear gun, like, there's a rope attached to the spear?
So,
This is a stupid question.
no. So it's good. It's good. We can break it down kind of like. I wish I had my YouTube channel rolling.
Oh, what is your YouTube channel so people can look it up?
Dude, I've switched the name so many times. I don't even know yet. I don't have any videos up yet, but I think it's going to be either Topsail Island Outdoorsman or Topsail Island Adventures. But I'm going to start.
You look like the Topsail Island outdoorsman, bro.
Hey,
like
well,
you look like the guy.
I'm gonna try to show what North Carolina offers. You know, I'm gonna try to do a little bit of video, and I used to do it a lot. And the GoPro got in my way. Like, it's just kind of annoying in the water.
It's annoying everywhere.
But I'm gonna try to make it happen. Dang, what were we just talking about? I was about to.
You're about to talk about how that spear is connected to.
Okay, all right. So you have 2 different types of spearfishing. Obviously, what I talked about how I got started was the Hawaiian sling. That's like the super primitive method.
It doesn't shoot though, does it?
It does not shoot.
It just comes out a little bit.
It's like a slingshot underwater.
Okay.
You have a shaft, and you have like a little wooden piece with a big rubber band. You just pull back and let go.
Okay.
And that's actually, if you go to the Bahamas to spearfish, that's the only method allowed is Hawaiian sling. You're not allowed spear guns in the Bahamas.
Really?
Yeah. But spear gun is like I should have brought one, but spear gun is just pretty much like a wooden gun, like a wooden shaped gun, or they make
It looks like a crossbow. It reminds me of a crossbow.
A little longer. They have all different shapes and sizes, but kind of like a big crossbow. But you have rubber bands. You know, kind of like big, thick rubber bands.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the shaft. You know, like a big steel shaft. And then you have. I attach mine with mono, so I probably have. I would probably say roughly 6 to 10 feet of mono, then attached to my reel line, because we shoot all different types of all different types of fish on the frying pan tower. You know, from grouper to hawkfish to African pompano to king mackerel. So if I'm shooting a grouper, I don't need the extra reel line because you're shooting them kind of point blank. You know, you're shooting him within 10 feet. And he's not going to go too far because you're on the bottom. But if I'm shooting a king mackerel, he's going to take off. You know,
Like a wahoo would.
Yeah, exactly. And wahoo spearfishing is phenomenal.
Oh, I bet it's insane.
That's great for beginner spearfishermen too.
Really?
It's a ride. You know,
You're in the stream, right?
Yeah, you're in the stream, but you're only diving like 10 foot. Like you're just.
I'd love to do. I'd like to start. If I'm gonna do it with you ever, that's what I want to do.
It's super easy because you're only, like I said, you're only dipping down, diving 10 feet, and the wahoo can be very curious. Like we chum a lot. Like we'll stop at a wreck.
That means sharks, dude.
There's not a lot of sharks in the stream.
Really?
We'll have a couple crazy ones come up, but
they want to be close.
It's good experiences though. Like we'll have like a Atlantic white tip or a mako or something really cool come up. But it's a really cool. Like once you're comfortable in the water, it's a really cool thing to see.
Yeah.
You know. So it really depends on how comfortable you are in the water.
So there's not. Yeah. That's. Well, bring me back to that point.
All right,
but your reel. You're saying like you have a reel on your gun.
Yeah.
So you can actually reel a fish.
I should have brought. So it's not so much reeling.
Is it a spool?
I've never. It's a reel. It's a reel.
Okay.
But you don't reel in the fish. So like, say I shoot a wahoo, right? He's gonna take off. Excuse me. After he takes off, I kind of let go of my gun, throw it out to my side, and
Let go of the gun.
Yeah,
the whole gun.
The gun floats. The gun floats. The gun's gonna float on the surface. And right now, I'm just fighting the wahoo. Excuse me. I'm fighting Coca-Cola. Sorry.
Oh, you're good, dog. You're good.
So fighting the wahoo, you're pretty much handlining the wahoo in after you shoot him, because you shoot him, let the gun go, and as you're bringing in the line, you're just feeding that line behind you as you're swimming to the fish.
So you let the gun go, but you keep your hand on the line?
Yeah, because you're just kind of pulling them in closer to you. Depends on your shot. You have your buddy, obviously, like I said. Always dive with a buddy. Have your buddy beside you, and if you're shooting a wahoo or something of a big, I mean, even with cobia or any kind of big fish, your buddy's great for a second shot. Don't lose the fish.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know if anybody watches. I'll plug my guy, Aaron Young, Dibs on Bottom, Key West Waterman on YouTube. He has a great YouTube channel going. And,
it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
you put me on him.
He's
seems like a super cool guy,
yeah,
too.
he's one of my good buddies, man. And he has a great story of how spearfishing is from literally he has like beginner to end, like the novice to expert level of spearfishing on his channel. But as far as that's another thing is line tangle management. You know, you shoot a big fish and you're just sitting still trying to pull that line in. That line's gonna get wrapped all around your legs, your fins. That fish takes off. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, he's gonna pull you with him.
You're gonna go down. So you know, when you get a big fish, you just want to feed it out at the side. Make sure that line's behind you. That's why your buddy's there. You know, if the buddy sees you getting tangled, he's untangling the line. It's just like spearfishing is a great sport, fun sport, super safe sport, especially free diving. As long as you have a buddy.
Yeah. So the main thing is keep that buddy.
have
a good buddy.
I've unfortunately had too many people I know pass away from free diving because they dove without a buddy. We're all invincible, we think, right?
Right.
I mean, when I first learned how to dive in the Keys, I mean, I had a 19-foot Carolina skiff there. I went to the coral heads every day and dove by myself. Not recommended. But, I mean, I've also know buddies who did the same and never came home. So, it's just always good to have a buddy because, I mean, even if you're a 100-foot diver, the day you're diving 15-foot, you know, 15 foot's nothing for a 100-foot diver, but if you're diving every minute because you're trying to get that lobster, or that mutton, or the grouper, it's just too rapid, and it's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah, so you gotta have that buddy.
Always have a buddy. That's the number one thing I'll preach is always have a buddy.
So when you shoot the fish, you're trying to throw that line to the side, and you're swimming towards the fish as well to keep your line from tangling up.
And that's with wahoo, African pompano, king mackerel, pretty much anything.
So you throw the gun immediately.
Yeah, especially if it floats. If it doesn't float, don't throw it.
Yeah.
Just put your bands on your shoulder like a backpack.
So you want to get a gun that floats.
I mean, it depends on what kind of spearfishing you're doing. If you're scuba diving, I'd get one that would sink. if you're free diving,
Gotcha.
get one that floats.
Because Key West Waterman, his sinks, right?
His floats.
His floats. I seem like I've seen something with somebody in their gun sinks.
He might have had like a custom or a client on there that sinks, but yeah, his gun floats. Most all free diving gun floats. Most all wood gun floats. You kind of have to get a scuba dive Pacific gun to sink. Like, and scuba, I'm not hating scuba divers. I know scuba divers are out there like, oh, screw this guy. I'm a dive master. Like I have over 2,000 dives of air on my back, but I've had more people die that I know from scuba diving than free diving, for sure.
Wow.
For sure.
Because of the air and...
Yeah, you just never know, man. I mean,
gosh,
air, you can have... I mean, I've had a bad reaction. I dove with my wife in Dominican Republic and came up from a dive and started puking immediately from a scuba dive. Just started vomiting immediately. Just bad gas. I just had a bad tank. They just gave me a bad tank. Like, I'm an experienced diver. Like, I'm not going to throw up from a 30-foot dive.
Right.
Know? Came up and just started vomiting immediately. And I obviously didn't dive after that. But you just... I don't know, it sketches me out. I've had too many people pass away from scuba diving. And I'm not saying that it's not safe. Scuba diving 100% can be and is safe, but you just got to know where you get your air from, know your mixes, know your limits, and dive within your limits. A lot of the scuba diving accidents are people who dive with... They'll see a fish, and their dive alarm, will be like, you need to go up. And they're like, oh, I got one more minute. Like, I'm good. They're not good. So
it's like you can't really take too many risk out there when it comes to how much air you have.
Yeah, not scuba dive. Free diving, your body's gonna tell you gotta go, bub. Like
it's time to go up, dog.
Yeah, you're out of
How long can you hold your breath?
Man, that's a question I get all the time. My record, like on land, sitting still, like completely relaxed, is 5 minutes and 30-some seconds.
It's a long time.
Yeah, my underwater is probably like 233.
Because you're moving and exerting energy,
and
your heart's pumping more.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when you're not doing anything, you can hold your breath longer.
Exactly. Like if I'm on land, like right now, I could probably sit still. I could probably do 3 minutes pretty ezy.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna do it, but I could.
That'd be great podcast time. We just both sit here while Will holds his breath.
Not gonna do it. But
that's super interesting though, and it's also interesting to me that most of your clients. Did you take any new people out this year?
So this year I just booked my first brand new free diver. They booked 2 days with me. They booked a full day fishing and a full day free diving to the tower. They're very experienced scuba divers though. They've dove all over the world. They send me their certifications and everything already.
So they want to free dive though.
They want to learn how to free dive.
So they're hiring you to teach them how to free dive.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a day of learning, and we'll shoot fish. Like we'll
for sure.
We'll shoot at the minimum like an amberjack or a king mackerel, or I could probably get them to shoot like a snapper or something like that. Something that comes off the bottom a little bit. But they may impress me, and they may get to the bottom the first day. I mean, people are different,
Also, most people, the first day they do it, they ain't getting to the bottom.
It's all in the head. I mean, it's really... So the average human can hold their breath for a minute, no problem. Zero problems. As long as they can... It's a mind thing. And 45, 50 foot of water, you only need about 40 seconds to go down and up and shoot a fish.
So are you most of the time, are you shooting these fish and then you have to go back down to shoot it again or get it?
No.
So most time you shoot them, you bring them up.
Yeah, bottom fish, especially at the tower. So if we're at the tower, a lot of people get in a bad habit because the water is so clear. They hunt from the surface, which is a horrible idea because you're never going to see half the fish that you would see from the bottom because the number one job of a fish is to blend in.
Right.
I mean, just with any animal, right, is to blend in. And so a lot of beginner freedivers, especially in South Florida or clear water, will get the bad habit of hunting from the surface.
Like, oh, there's nothing there.
They don't see anything. Some of them are like, we're not going to take a dive. That's where you 100% should take a dive. Go down, grunt, scratch on the rocks, throw sands up.
What does that do?
It's like I said, I kind of get ahead of myself, but like, it creates attention. Like you go down, like think about a lobster. A lobster creates like a noise.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like a spiny lobster, if you put your head underwater, especially in the tower, you hear a lot of clicking. Like there's a lot of clicking. But if you go down lower, you hear that
Really?
They can make a super definite, like distinctive noise for sure. And
What's the clicking?
the clicking is just it from the bottom. Like if you're on the surface, you can hear it from the surface.
It sounds like clicking, but then when you get lower,
yeah,
it's like...
it's just more distinctive. Yeah.
And lobsters are doing that. How do they make that sound?
Their antennas.
Are they rubbing together?
Yeah, they're so we have the spiny lobster. They don't have claws, but we just have the antennas, and their antennas rub against. They create some kind of friction against their knuckle. They have big spines on their forehead, but they rub together, making that. I should have brought that too. I have a lobster head in my freezer.
A lobster head?
I use it for chum. Hog fishing grouper eat lobster.
Yeah.
So when I'm out with my clients, I'll smash my lobster head up and throw it in the water and.
It'll bring up the hognose snappers.
Hognose.
Nice,
Yeah,
dude.
hognose.
Hognose delicious.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm known for. Like spearfishing. Like we last summer was very.
Y'all tore them up.
We did very well on hogfish last year. Every trip, I think we had a big male, like at least over 15 pounds.
So you think those hogfish, when you throw that lobster head in there, you think they can smell it?
Absolutely.
And that's what kind of brings them up out. Where are they chilling? In the rocks or something?
They'll hang on the ledge.
But it brings them to you.
Yeah, well, they're very attracted to noise. They're very curious. They're the dumbest fish in the ocean. And you can sign my name to that.
Really?
The dumbest fish in the ocean.
Dumber than a cobia.
Way dumber.
Because cobia will swim right up to the boat.
Dude, the hogfish will swim right up to you. I've literally poked the hogfish like with my spear before I shot him, like trying to get him to back up so I could get a better shot.
Wow.
They're really dumb, but they're very like they're my favorite fish to eat by far.
Really?
Yeah.
They're delicious.
They're super white meat, ceviche, grilled, however you want it.
You love to eat fish, don't you?
Yeah.
I love to.
I love to eat anything wild.
I do too.
Yeah. I like. It makes me feel a little bit lesser when I have to buy meat from the grocery store.
Yeah. Same. Like if I had like some cows, I would slaughter them.
Yeah,
and I'd eat the ribeyes and the ribs.
Absolutely, man. Like I don't know. Like I felt kind of bad this year because I didn't get enough time to deer hunt, so I didn't kill a deer. And I'm like,
Yeah, you need that meat in the fridge, so you don't have to buy steaks.
I'm eating ducks and geese. I'm like, that's cool, but a deer would be really cool.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have time this year.
Yeah.
I was really busy tuna fishing. So.
Yeah, you caught a massive tuna this year.
Good one.
Good gracious.
It took a long. You know for a fact that it took a long time.
You were grinding to get that tuna, bro.
Yeah, I luckily caught one earlier in the year, like 1st of December with my buddy Billy Goss on the 27 Onslow. But I fished a lot of days without a bite.
I know you did. I talk to you almost every day. You're like, come with me. I'm like, man, I want to, but I got to work, dude.
I tried.
I got this regular job, dude, and Will's like, come on, dude. You can damn work with me, bro.
This could be the day.
Yeah. Look, our boy RH,
yes,
he got lucky. RH, you got lucky. You jumped on Will's boat, and y'all killed, what was it, 700 and...
Yeah, he was 622 pounds cord.
So he was almost 800, probably.
750 to 800.
God, dude.
Respectively.
We ain't even gonna talk. We'll have you back on to talk about tuna. We'll have you back on next year during tuna season when me and you go out.
Yes,
and we'll talk about tuna fishing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So your spear, like, what's something you didn't expect as far as spear fishing? Like, when you first started spear fishing, what's something that caught you off guard or by surprise? It's like you expected it to be one way, but it was a different way.
So when I moved to the Keys. I moved in with a group of guys who already knew who lived that lifestyle, and they're phenomenal. They could dive at 60 foot no problem, and we grew up together back in Sanford.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, we're both competitive. We're both like, you know, if you can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We ain't have nothing else to do,
right?
Except for be competitive. That's all we had to do.
So when these boys were diving at 60 foot, I was trying to dive 60 foot, and it was not happening.
What was just the breath hold?
Yeah, like it just was not going to go down like that. Like it was my 3rd, 4th day in the water. Because the first day I hopped in, like I lived on a canal when I moved down there, like a canal.
Sick.
Yeah, I mean it was great. It was like 4 dudes in like a 3-bedroom house. One of us lived in the kitchen.
About $2,000.
Yeah, right.
$2,000
like,
rent.
Like the typical Keys house.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys up to no good.
Yeah.
But I could jump in my canal and grab a lobster and a mangrove snapper and have supper.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, but then these guys were like, "Hey, let's go dive." I was like, "I've been diving." Like, what you talking about?
They're like, nah, let's go dive.
Yeah,
dude.
I was like, all right. The first day they were diving down to like 60 foot, and I was like, nah. They had the real deal though.
Like you wanted to do it, but you were like,
so kind of jumping ahead too. Like you have different gear for freediving, right? Like people think of fins, they think of like fins like yay long, right? My fins are like yay long.
Really?
Like they're freediving. They're like 90 centimeters.
wow.
Yeah, I forgot what that is. I don't know why they do centimeters, but that's the only thing I know is 90 centimeters.
But they're huge.
Yeah, they're carbon fiber, so they're not plastic. You know, they respond well to kick motion. So I can do like, so as an instructor, I have my kick cycle down. Like I can dive to 60 feet in like 14 kicks. I can dive to like 80 feet in like 23 kicks. Like, so I have my kick cycle down for my fins, because that's when, you know, like I said, getting a little in depth, but the water has buoyancy atmospheres. 0 to 33 feet, you're positively buoyant. 33.
So you'll float.
Under 30, yeah, exactly. Under 33 feet, you're negatively buoyant.
You're sinking.
You're sinking, no matter what.
Damn. Is it because there's so much like
It's just
above you?
Atmospheric pressure.
Wow, dude, that's like the moon. That's like being on the moon type
It's
stuff.
crazy, because like that's what I was saying earlier about being overweighted and underweighted. Because if you're properly weighted, so if you're properly weighted and you're on the surface, you want to do a full exhale, and you want your mask to be about halfway. You want to see the water line about halfway between your mask if you're properly weighted. If you're overweighted, you're going to sink, obviously. And if you're underweighted, you're just going to have a harder time getting to the bottom, but you're going to float.
Right,
So
right.
underweight is not a bad thing. You're just going to struggle and burn more energy. So it's important to be properly weighted. Do a weight buoyancy test and all that good stuff. But it definitely makes a difference on what's happening.
So that's what you didn't expect it would be that hard to dive 60 foot.
Not at all.
That's what you're saying.
Oh,
Like I've been diving in this canal, I can dive 60 foot.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys are doing it, so I can do it.
I was like, let's go. Oh, and the thing in the Keys is crystal clear. You can see the bottom.
So it doesn't look that far.
Yeah, I
But
got
it's far.
this. Yeah, I got this. Don't got it.
Damn, how long did it take you to get down there?
Like 4 months.
And you got down to 60
But that's
foot.
all I did at the Keys.
Comfortably, you were getting down.
I was in Key West Community College diving program. Like I showed up in class in my wetsuit.
Why'd you come back here?
My wife.
So you met her here.
So my sister introduced me to her. Actually, they went to Campbell. They were together at a gym. But Key West is not the life for me. Eat, drink, sleep, fish.
Okay.
You know, too much drinking.
Yeah.
So like it's not our place to raise a family. You know?
Right.
Like Upper the Keys, sure, but like great time from like 18 to 22.
So you love it here
Yeah.
as an adult.
Well, yeah, because you don't have bluefin tuna in the Keys. Like we have North Carolina has the best seasons in my opinion.
We have everything.
You definitely don't have duck hunting. You have zero hunting in the Keys actually. Like zero hunting.
There's nothing down
You
there.
can shoot an iguana with a 22, I guess.
Wow. So
I
that's why they
guess.
spearfish. Because
Yeah,
they're hunting
they have
fish.
nothing else to do. You have key deer. Have you heard of the key deer?
Mm-mm.
Highly illegal. I can't tell these stories on his.
Highly illegal to kill them, you're saying?
Yeah, they're federally protected.
Are they little?
Yeah, dude. Oh man, I wish I had my old phone. I have literally videos of these key deer coming in my kitchen, like while I'm cooking.
They're just
dinner.
not scared.
No,
Because they have nothing to be scared of except
Yeah.
for gators. I guess there's no gators in the key.
crocodiles mainly.
Crocodile probably eat a damn key deer.
Yeah, and cars. Yeah,
Yeah, cars probably nail them all
and
the time.
hurricanes.
Oh, deer's flying around.
I said it was what, Twister. I just saw a kill.
I just saw 15 key deer.
Yeah, but no.
So that's why they spearfish out there then.
Yeah, I mean it's a different lifestyle down there, man. It really is. It's North Carolina is really similar as far as the same species, but it's much further of a run. You know, the Keys, I can be shooting wahoo in 6 to 10 miles, no problem.
Damn.
North Carolina, you're going 60 miles. Bro.
Yeah.
All day, every
Yeah,
day.
you're spending $400 in gas.
Every day.
Yeah,
Every day.
I wish it was closer.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, there's been that I know of 3 wahoo shot at the tower.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's one on video. You can look up Sam Blunt, Frontline Freediving. He took a group out. Justin Baker shot one on a wreck right off the tower. there was one more story I heard of. Somebody shot a wahoo. I don't know that story. But I had a customer last year shoot a wahoo literally 2 miles off the tower.
Oh, wow.
He just took a bad shot, and he fought it for like 5 minutes, and it ripped off.
Like a decent one.
It was like 40 pounds.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll eat that.
Yeah, he'll eat.
We'll eat that.
He'll eat. But I mean, that's one thing about the tower. Like, if you're comfortable in the water, and
Oh, that was it. You swung back. Oh, my camera overheated on me. All right. So,
well, you need to.
just my camera. That camera overheated. It's all good. So
I'm just too hot over
we'll
here.
wrap it, dude. Yeah, you're heating my camera. It might be from that light, dude.
You need to move it up or something?
Nah, it's good. That camera shut off. We'll wrap it up. But you were
Alright.
talking about being comfortable in the water.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's really the biggest deal. So, like, I took plenty of new guys out, and I've took plenty of experienced guys out. But the biggest thing is, anybody can say they're ready, but as soon as you put your face in the water, that's kind of when reality hits you. And it's nothing to be scared about. Like, I'm right there with you. I've been doing this for over 10 years. Never had a problem with sharks as far as like life or threat, like your life or death threatening experience at all. Just being okay with breathing out of your snorkel, breathing with your face in the water. If you've never done it, if you've never done scuba diving, free diving at all, I just recommend going to your local pool and trying to snorkel around your local pool.
It's uncomfortable at first, for sure.
Just getting that face in the water. Getting your face in the water and breathing through a snorkel. Because that's the only way you can get a breath to go down.
All right. So you do fishing trips too.
Yep.
You do fishing trips. Everything Will said at the beginning, you can book him to do. Fishing trips you do. You're going to do inshore this year. You do offshore. You do diving.
I'm trying to get everything going. So offshore, I'll repeat one more time: 5 hour, 6 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour, 8 hour Gulf Stream, Lee Island excursion, half day spearfishing, full day spearfishing. Actually, this guy's gonna be my inshore captain.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna send it this year.
He's gonna run some inshore trips for me. We're gonna do red drum, trout, sheep's head, you name it.
We're gonna tear him up.
Go to www.tifishanddive.com. Look me up on Topsail Island Fish and Dive Adventures. TI Fish and Dive Adventures on Instagram. My man Alex on over here.
Yeah, boy. Will Bridges, everybody. You guys, thank you so much for watching the podcast. Will, thanks for doing the podcast.
Sir, thank you for having
You did
me,
a great job your first podcast.
Hey, man, my first time. I was a little nervous.
Awesome job, brother. You guys, thanks for listening.
Yes,
don't
sir.
forget, like, subscribe to the channel. We love you. We'll see you next time.